Hey all, welcome to part 2 for employment. Sorry for getting out so late, just completely spaced on it. Uh, Truck handle broke literally as I was running off to game, so it sort of ate my brain. A few other things. So anyway, it's talk about employment. Well, there's a few things I do want to say. While I've heard of Aspie's being very good at customer service and such like that, on the whole, we're not. We're horrible. Um, there's a funny video also here on YouTube called "It Gets Worse," and it's a sort of a parody of the "It Gets Better" videos for people who are gay or lesbian or bi or whatnot. This is "It Gets Better." Well, this is a parody except for people in the customer service field, and it's called "It Gets Worse." And I watched it. My girlfriend watched it. We both agree it's just about spot on. And I'm thinking, if it's horrible for NTs, it's just that much worse for Aspies. It really is. And so definitely customer service is pretty much right out. I've worked for some major national U.S. chains, and I bombed all of them. Um, you know, I've talked to a lot of Aspies, and we're generally not very good at customer service, as well as sales. Bad at sales. Uh, David Finch, I'm gonna cite, like I said, I'm gonna cite him often. One of the surprising things to read about in his book, and some other people that have messaged me, is that they are in fact good salesmen. The tricks that they use, sort of putting on a mask, pretending it's a game, this and that. I just can't do because I have a hard time not telling the truth or not. Anyway, I'm bad. I'm a bad salesman. Maybe I don't know what it is. Is maybe they're telling the truth and I'm not, or I don't know. I'm bad at sales. I know that. I'm also a bad waiter. Bad customer service rep, bad salesman, bad waiter. Um, I don't like working with people. So having a people-centered job is probably not the greatest idea. Now, what would be a good job for an Aspie? Astrophysicist, astronomer. Barring that, I've heard some Aspies do well in warehouse work, although it doesn't pay well. And by it doesn't pay well, it's sort of an understatement. It doesn't. It's not a career. It's not a career move for most people. Any career at all where you don't have to work with people, probably a good move. Probably why I end up staying in delivery for so long. I have a scheduled appointment to see a nonprofit group soon about job training into a different field. And I was actually scheduled to see them tomorrow, but half an hour after I was scheduled to see them, which could take an hour or two, I was called today for a job interview. So I don't know, job interview almost, I mean, the job sounds almost too good to be true, but then again, it could be just fine. So tomorrow I'm off to a Starbucks to have a job interview. Yes, you can have job interviews in Starbucks or coffee shops or restaurants. It's not my first one. I've gotten jobs from them. Sometimes people don't have established companies, or sometimes they just really, they just really don't want to be in their office. Some people run things out of a warehouse front with no developed office, or out of a storage facility. I've heard of multiple things, so yeah, don't worry about that. But other jobs that are good. Like I said, doing delivery, being a warehouse worker. I've never heard of a successful Aspie being a teacher. I could be wrong. Maybe education's the way to go for you. Now, I mean teacher, I mean public education, kindergarten through 12th grade. In America, that's elementary, middle, and high school. I don't know what that is outside of America. Primary school? Yeah.
Up to primary.
Yeah, up to primary. College, however, I've heard of Aspies being quite successful as tenured professors in the sciences. In the arts, not so much. Now, as an Aspie, as an artist, could be possible. I myself do artful things. I cook and I make stuff and I express myself in artistic ways. I need to. In fact, it almost scared a psychiatrist. He had a theory that somebody who had no artistic expression had major issues. And then he found out I did martial arts and that I cooked. And he was like, okay. So you express yourself via your martial arts. When you fight, you try to fight truest to who you are. And when you cook, you try to make wonderful cookies. Okay. So I didn't have many outlets of artistic expression, but I did do it to some extent, and that made him happy. So maybe there's an Aspie painter out there, or an Aspie singer, or so on and so forth. Maybe, plays guitar, tuba. That wouldn't surprise me. Rare, yeah. Surprising, no. Oh, geez, I'm running out of thoughts here. Basically anything where you have to work with people is probably not going to be a successful career field. Any education, any post-high school education where you're going to have to end up working with people, probably not a great idea. Now, you're thinking to yourself, but I want to be a lawyer, maybe. Not all lawyers have to work with people. 9 out of 10 cases are settled out of court anyway. So there's research attorneys, there's patent attorneys, there's guys who do a lot of paperwork. So if you can write, if you're not dysgraphic like me, do a lot of paperwork, great. Librarian. I met a librarian, me and my girlfriend met a librarian the other day who's an Aspie. And he's been there for 30 years and is quite happy. So, even though he's dealing with the public, he's dealing an awful lot more with books. Same thing with me as a courier. I'd see 40 or 50 customers a day for 30 seconds to a minute on average. Now, there were some customers I dealt with for 15, 20, 30 minutes. I could tell you stories about customers that needed my help resolving issues with the companies that they order stuff from. I could go on for days about that. Being the face of Google, I had to be a pretty guy. Sort of yes, this is Google, and we were awesome like us. And that wasn't easy, but, it wasn't, how do I express this? If you have to do customer service, don't make the service the primary skill. When I was at Google, when I was working for them, I just had to be a nice, friendly face. That was easy. Essentially, it was be me, but remember that I'm on camera. That was easy. When I was a courier, be me, but be a nice guy in short bursts. And always remember that if you've got a bad customer, get in your van and go somewhere else. Maybe they'll be nice. Literally had that once. Had a customer yell and scream at me over something that I had no control over, that was not my fault. I went, okay. Went to the next house. They're like, we just had some cookies. You want some cookies? I'm like, yeah, I want some cookies. So, stay away from customer service. Stay away from dealing with people. Maybe there's an Aspie cop. Maybe there's an Aspie firefighter. Do I think Aspies can be cops? No. It requires too much. Not just person to person. Yeah, my girlfriend's a person-to-person interaction. And not just that. Yeah, that's a huge component of it. But we are so literal. It must be the same way all the time. The harder we get stressed, the more we sink down to an exact literal interpretation of the rules. And I don't know about you, but I've been pulled over a time or two and been let go because the cop decided to bend the rules. I don't know if I could do that as an Aspie. I know that if I didn't have Asperger's syndrome, I'd probably be a cop. So go figure. Being a fireman, though. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Being a paramedic? Sure. Being a doctor? Yeah. As long as you just don't have to have empathy, as long as you're not worried about that, I don't see a reason why a paramedic couldn't be a perfectly good paramedic without having empathy. You just have to approach the job a different way. You have to approach it as a skill set, as a pride of work. You do good work. And I know a lot of Aspies that are very proud of their work, that are very proud of their skill set. So a paramedic doesn't have to give a single crap about how much pain their patient is in. However, saving that person, removing that bullet, leaving nary a scar, and leaving a situation for the doctor to clean up that's nice, keeping the guy alive when nobody else did, that's pride of work, and I could see that. Same thing for a doctor. I'm a heart surgeon. Look, I did that. Nobody else did. People used to say House was an Aspie. I really don't think he was. He was a misanthrope. Maybe he was partly sociopathic. Maybe he wasn't anything. Maybe he was just burnt out. Personally, I think he had a little too much empathy for his own good, for what he pretended. Perfect character. Loved the series, as you can tell. But yeah, just get into something that you love. Get into something you can succeed at. Either be your own boss, or have a boss that understands you. I really miss my old boss at the when I worked on the census one year. Worked at one of the censuses, and I had a great boss. And I miss that guy. Okay, he's far away from me in Stockton now. So, but yeah, get a good boss, get a good company, get a good job. Working for yourself, I'd say go for it. I say be your own boss. I say start your own company. My girlfriend wants to start a company at some point in the next few years, and I want to back her up. Maybe it'll succeed, maybe it'll fail. Personally, I hope it succeeds. But I would have a boss, her, that understood me. So hopefully the whole couple thing won't interfere. But I won't have to deal with customers. I'll be back end. I'll be manufacturing. It'll be a food business, so I'll either be making stuff or delivering stuff or working with books or doing something. I won't interfere with the customers. She'll do customers. I'll just take everything off of her shoulders that I possibly can. So yeah, that's kind of my thing. Stay away from customer service. Stay away from people interaction. Stay away from fuzzy stuff. We do better in the sciences anyway. Concrete, literal rules explained, consistency. Show up to work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. This is what you're expected to do. It's probably a reason why a lot of us are accountants. So I'll talk to you later.